Hi guys, I'm going to make some quick potato soup. It's Friday night, it's cold out, I've been sick, and I don't really have a lot of groceries, but what I do have is some potatoes, as you can see I need to use. I've got some carrots, some onions, some celery, some butter, and broth. I use a little bit of evaporated milk. This Weiler's is such a good flavor of stuff, accent. Onion powder, and some pepper, cayenne pepper, and salt. So I'm just going to throw this together real quick because I'm hungry and I was going to do DoorDash. And I'm not going to because it's so damn expensive. So why not make some potato soup? So I'm getting my, getting my water going. I always put a little bit of salt in. And I know it's weird, but I also always put a little drizzle of olive oil. I know that's weird, but it keeps everything from sticking in the water. So I'm getting ready to cut up my potatoes and my veggies, and we'll see what it looks like. So as you can see, I just did fine, just rough cut of stuff. The potatoes, onions, I like the onions big because again, I don't like the crunch of an onion, but I like the flavor. Just some carrots, some celery. I've got the water almost to a boil. It literally just took me 10 minutes to cut all that up while this was coming to a boil. I want to note that I use this paring knife that my mother gave me, which was my grandmother's. So this paring knife has cut a mini of a potato, and I get extremely emotional when I use this because it's one of the only things I have of my grandmother. Because my mother gave it to me, but my prick of a dad decided to get rid of all of my mother's things and my grandmother's things when she died on July 19th of 2018 so he could run and marry a new woman. So yeah, I don't have any anger. No, it's all pain, devastation, and disbelief. But that paring knife has cut a mini of a potato even when my grandmother was 98 years old and crippled arthritis fingers. So I'm very proud to have it. So the water, enough of that because I will be extremely emotional and almost start crying. So the water is coming to a boil, so I'm just simply going to add my potatoes. I'm gonna let them boil to kind of a hard, soft. I know that's weird, but I don't want them cooked all the way because I will be doing the next step. Okay, they've been boiling for about 10 minutes, just in water. As you can see, they're kind of soft, but not completely cooked all the way. So this is how I want them to be. So now I'm going to drain off about 3/4 of the water. So I like to have a little bit of the water at the bottom just because it's going to be a nice starch thickening tool I can use. And so yeah, just had a nice little cry over that damn knife and my dad and my mom and my grandmother, and now I'm back. So sorry about that. So now I'm going to add, I go ahead and season the potatoes with a nice amount of salt and pepper. I like a lot of flavor and stuff, so you're going to see a lot of seasoning, a lot of pepper, and this is onion powder, or onion salt, onion powder, or whatever. I do cayenne, kind of like a spicy, and then my kicker is this Weiler's. Oh crap. Oh. So it's got a nice, as you can see, it's kind of like a chicken flavor. There's some parsley in there and so forth. Adding my onions. Adding my carrots. Adding my celery. Adding a can of chicken broth. Now I'm going to let all of this, after I stir it together, Oh crap. Just gonna let all this cook together for a little bit, for probably about 10 minutes. Okay, so that's been boiling for a good probably 10 minutes or so. So I'm gonna put a half stick of butter in. And I'm gonna always put a little bit more, and a little bit more. And from there, what I do is I add a can of evaporated milk. And you shake it up really well before you put it in. But it's thicker than, as you can see, thicker than like a normal milk. So it actually gives a nice texture to the soup. So as you can see, I'm gonna let all of this combined here. Just let that butter melt. I'm gonna add a little bit more pepper and let it kind of come to a medium boil here. I know this is not your traditional kind of potato soup because I like to have big chunks of celery, onions, and carrots in there, but it gives such an amazing flavor to the soup. So yeah, that's why I keep it in there. But my potatoes are done. All of this is done. I'm going to give it a taste and see if I need any additional seasoning. Look at the butter on top, so good. Oh my God, you guys, the flavor is so good. I'm gonna do a little bit of accent to bring the flavor out. But the flavor is so good. I'm gonna turn the heat off. It's creamy from the butter and the evaporated milk. It's got good flavor from the carrots, the onions, and the celery. And this Weiler's, oh my gosh, it is amazing. I use this for my chicken and noodles. I use this for all different types of things. It gives such good flavor. That cayenne pepper has given it a nice kick, which I love. So literally I only did like a little bit of leftover water from the potatoes, 1 can of chicken broth, and 1 can of the evaporated milk, and it's made a really large pot. I think it was 5 or 6 potatoes. So this will last me a couple days, and I may freeze some of it. So 2 things can happen here. You can either thicken it with a little bit of cornstarch, or you can serve it like this. I like mine a little bit more brothy like this because I like to put crackers in mine. So it's up to you. You could actually take this out and put it in a blender, put it back in. You could take the vegetables out, put it in a blender, put it back. It would be like very, very thin. You know, you don't want the chunks. You can do that, and that will thicken it up as well. But again, a little bit of cornstarch will thicken it up. I don't like it that way, so I'm gonna leave it like this. So here's my end result. A nice bowl of hot, creamy, very seasoned, flavorish goodness potato soup. I'm gonna eat it with crackers. I've got a little bit of cheese left, so I'll put that on top. And yeah, so took what, 20 minutes for everything, very inexpensive, and it tastes so good. So enjoy.